Welcome back. Welcome back. So this is Ice Cream Bowls Part 2. And last time we made this pinch pot and we smoothed out the surface so it was really pretty and nice to touch. And we made sure that the rim was nice and clean so that way if we wanted to drink up the extra ice cream that was melted at the bottom, it wouldn't hurt our mouths, right? So we're going to save this and we're going to store our pinch pots upside down. Okay, I'm going to save it off to the side so it's not in my way. I'm going to look at my next hunk of clay. So I don't need all of this clay. I need a much smaller amount. Some of you guys probably won't have quite as much as I have in my hand, and some of you guys will have as much as I have in my hand. So I'm going to pull off probably enough for like a mini tennis ball. It's definitely smaller than a tennis ball. So I can cover it completely with my hands. The other one, I tried to cover with my hands and the bottom showed, right? Remember it showed in there? This one I can cover completely with my hands, so it's definitely going to be smaller. All right. Again, we're going to be compacting our clay. So we want to make sure that we get all the air bubbles out and we smooth out the surface. So we're going to compact our clay. Remember, you want to do this as quick as you can so it doesn't dry out. If it does dry out, use a wet sponge to moisten your hands so that way it's not so dry. And it goes from slimy to sticky to perfect. Okay, so now I have a ball of clay. It's not perfect, but it'll work for what we want to do. And we're going to make another pinch pot, but this one's going to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to put my thumb in the bowl. I'm going to push it in. Remember, don't push all the way through, otherwise you have a hole. You want to keep about a pinky thickness deep. Okay? And then 3-finger flat pinch. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to keep going. You know what? Mine's going to take kind of a lot of flat finger pinches. So you're going to pinch it as best as you can until the walls are how thick? Pinky thick. And you can always double check with your pinky. Pinky thick, pinky thick. All right. And again, I've got my pinky thick walls, but the bottom's really heavy. So I'm going to take my thumb, and this one I'll do a zoom in for you so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to push down and rip it a wall. Okay, so it looks like I made a big old dent in there. But I'm going to take it and continue that kind of dent and push the clay out, stretching it. We're stretching the clay out as we go around. So I have parts of it that are stretched, and I still have a section right here that's not stretched. So I'm going to stretch it, stretch it, stretch it until the bottom and the walls are all about the same thickness. And you know what's really cool about clay is if you make a mistake or you mess up or you accidentally ruin it or like I've done, or you drop it, that's all right. It's not the end of the world. You just add more water to it, squish it back together, compact it into a ball, and try again. So it's okay if you mess up. Clay is forgiving, and it'll let you try again. You get lots of tries. Okay, now I've got it stretchy, stretchy, stretched. Okay, so it's really nice and stretchy. And then this is actually going to sit flat on the table. So instead of just smoothing the rim like we did with the other one, I'm going to take this upside down and gently tap, 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 tap it on the table. And you can check and see where the areas are really flat and where the areas aren't flat yet. So you can tap, 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 tap it on the table. You can rotate it and tap, 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 tap it on the table. And when you tap it, just gently, gently tap it. Tap, tap, tap. Now you're going to have this really nice flat bottom. Okay. We're going to set this guy aside and use him a little bit later. The next step is going to be making a coil. So I'm going to grab a little bit of clay from my chunk of clay. We probably won't use all of this and we'll save this for other projects. And I need just a small log of clay. Now my clay has gotten a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to my clay and just squeeze it in. If yours isn't dry, then you don't have to do this. If yours is dry, make sure you add water, squeeze in. You guys hear that? It's kind of sticky. Makes those squishy, sticky noises. Okay. All right. So I'm just squishing and sticking it back together. Okay, so I don't need to compact this because it's too small to compact. I am going to squeeze it into a log, kind of like a small pickle. And I have my pickle shape. I'm going to roll out something called a coil. So I'm going to take my hand, try to roll it from my fingertips, and roll it up and back until you create a snake. Sometimes it's going to get flat. So if it gets flat, you can either pat it on the tall side and roll it some more, or you can twist it like a churro and roll it. If you make a mistake, just roll, roll, roll some more. Okay, so this coil needs to stay nice and moist. And we're going to make sure it's about the thickness of a pinky. We will join back in for ice cream bowls part 3 on the next video. Have fun practicing.